You don't really fear being seen. You fear being seen as powerful. There's something about the theme of power. Who am I to hold power? Who am I to be seen as powerful? Who am I to be an authoritative figure at work, in certain dynamics, in a business, within society? I really want you to look at the theme of power and how you relate to it. Typically, there's a negative limiting belief associated with power. What do you think power means? Power is destructive. Power is narcissistic. It's unsafe for me to hold power. There's too much responsibility that comes with holding power. There's too much stress that comes with holding power. These are the beliefs that can collapse us back into a state of, I don't want to be seen. I don't want leadership, really. Anytime we're in a position of leadership, we're in a position of opinion that is valuable. That is holding power. Power is the ability to influence. That's what it is. It's the ability to influence and inspire and to move energy. I want you to understand something. If you want to impact society, the collective field in a powerful way, it requires that you make peace with power and you make peace with being seen. I want you to sit with this question. What is the ripple effect of you saying yes? If I say yes, what happens? If you say yes, what happens? If you say yes to your soul purpose, if you say yes to your dream, if you say yes to a business idea, if you say yes to move forward in a relationship with this particular person, if you say yes to this vision that you have of living in a different place, what is the ripple effect of that? Because every decision creates a new timeline. When you say yes to your purpose, when you say yes to your mission, when you say yes to being seen, the ripple effect is that millions of lives can be changed by your reflection. You see, it's not about you. The ego wants to believe this is about me. If I allow myself to be seen, it's about, are people going to like me? Are they going to think I'm pretty, beautiful, or handsome enough? Are they going to think I'm good enough? Are they going to think I'm qualified enough? Are they going to think I'm credible enough? That's ego. Me, 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 I, me. It's just me. Okay? Your soul understands the interconnected web of existence, the infinite mirror within creation, that with your presence, with your visibility, with your reflection, you can shift someone into an alternate state by you embodying a high vibration, a high state of love or light or wisdom or information that they really need. And this doesn't look the same. Everybody's not necessarily meant to be on a world stage, but everyone does have their own stage within their life. This could look like you taking on more responsibility at work and thus no longer repelling the next best opportunity, such as being promoted. You see, when you embody the power, which is, I am no longer afraid to have or hold influence, you become a vibrational match to opportunities and positions of leadership that come with impact. If you want to have impact in some type of way, if you want to drive change in some type of way, if you want to help expand consciousness in some type of way, it requires leadership, which is an embodiment of power, being influential with your presence, with your words, with just your vibration. Maybe for you, this doesn't look like career in a business or at work. It could simply be using your voice, telling a friend or a family member the truth of something that needs to be reflected to them so that they have an opportunity to expand. You see, it could be on that micro level of being seen in power. So this is why we said it's not that you're afraid of being seen. because you might be comfortable being seen as quiet, being seen as voiceless, being seen as agreeable, being seen as a people pleaser. But are you comfortable with being seen as powerful, as clear, as stable, as direct, as confident? There's something about that feels uncomfortable when we have a distorted view of power. Now, what this can also look like is you've simply been disempowered for so long that the thought of being empowered, having power, holding power, your nervous system has not calibrated for you to be comfortable in that. Being the decision maker, being the person that people look to for advice and answers, being the person leading other people somewhere. If you've been disempowered, that version and identity feels like too much of a quantum leap and stretch. So this is how we're going to bridge the gap into the parallel version of you that's comfortable with power, loves power, adores power, is responsible with power, trusts themselves with power, honors power, honors their position of impact and influence. This is how you're going to become that person. Small daily decisions that empower you. Remember, every decision accumulates in momentum and adds to the timeline being constructed where you feel safe being seen. You know, there's this talk about being, how do you be safe? How do you become safe in being seen? Well, we can tell you this: the safety in allowing yourself to be seen never comes from other people, because other people's opinions of you is unmanageable, meaning you will never be able to control it. You will never be able to control the point of view and perspective within reality that someone holds. You just can't do it. So safety comes from yourself. If I want to feel safe being seen, I have to create safety and comfort within myself. I have to create a safe place inside of myself. How do I create a safe place inside of myself? Well, I fully accept myself, all of myself, every version and variation of myself, unconditionally. I know exactly who I am. I know my intentions. I know my reason behind being seen and my voice. I know that it is pure. And because it is pure, regardless of how other people might distort my reflection, I feel safe to be seen because I know the place from which it is an extension of. Now, usually when we want to be seen, or the work that we do requires to be seen, it's because we want to help a lot of people, or we're meant to help a lot of people. And because we know we're coming from a place of pure, authentic, genuine love and care, we can grant ourselves the permission to hold that position of power with dignity, with integrity. Now, maybe you have, I'm just seeing this come up in the field, maybe you have past versions of yourself that you're ashamed of, and that's what's holding you back from being seen. Well, I used to do this, and I used to be this, and people of my past, perhaps they still see me that way. Although that was a past version of you, it's not who you are now. And in fact, typically that version of you with those lived experiences is what is allowing you to be in a position to teach or guide or lead or influence in some type of way. That self is a direct necessity to your being seen in whatever role of leadership that you want to take. If it's creating content, if it's starting a business, if it's taking on a higher position at work, if it's having a voice within friendship, family, or social dynamics, However it looks like for you, the path that you have walked is the only curriculum that has been required for you to allow yourself to be seen. It's your wisdom. It's the wisdom that you carry. It's the wisdom that you will channel through your vessel, through your voice, through your being. And that is why you should be seen. So it's not solely about you. It's about the ripple effect of you, which is exponential. You will never know how many people you can impact or will impact. There will never be an algorithm, a technology, anything that can fully capture the ripple effect of your presence here, of you deciding to use your voice, of you deciding to be seen, of you deciding to share your story, of you deciding to share your creativity. Maybe it's not your voice, but it's work that you are here to birth. You can never truly know how many lives, how many interactions, how many timelines you collapse by saying yes. When your soul is louder than your ego and your heart beat pulses stronger than your insecurities, you will allow yourself to be seen. You will see yourself as worthy enough to hold power. Now, if you're afraid of holding power, you want to take a look at that. Perhaps you perceive yourself as irresponsible, or you've made mistakes in the past, or you consider yourself to be a fuck up. And so, who am I now to step into this? You have to make peace with the former versions of yourself. You have to thank them for what they taught you, and you have to release them. None of us are bound to one identity. We are all infinite identities. And in fact, we're choosing the next identity that we want to embody. You should always be reinventing yourself. Always, always expanding into a new version of your character within the earth game reality. Don't limit yourself to one expression. Now, maybe you were the shy kid. Maybe you were the person who never spoke up in relationships. And you are actually concerned about what the people who experienced that version of you will think when they see you in this identity. Play that out in your mind. Imagine that you're speaking on a stage. Let's do it right now. You're speaking on a stage. Front row. In the front row, I want you to imagine that every single person that you're afraid to see you, they're sitting there. Every single person that you did not stand up to or use your voice or allow them to see the full depths of who you are, they're sitting right front row, front and center, and they're looking at you as you hold your head up high, shoulders back, standing in confidence and power, dismantling old thoughts, opinions, perspectives that they had about you. Or maybe not, but that's okay because you know who you are. Let's just sit in this power. How does it feel to allow them to see this? How does it feel? For some of you, I'm hearing you think your power would be overwhelming for people because you're so different. And you haven't allowed yourself to fully display the true essence of who you are. So we're going to do something. Imagine that there are energetic ripples that you are sending off from your body. So as they're sitting in the front row and they're just witnessing you in this power, imagine that the power that you're exuding, it's so strong, and it's coming into their energetic field and they're just feeling it. They feel your power. Now they know your power. They know it. They can feel it. Sit in this. Hold this. We're recalibrating your nervous system to be comfortable and safe with this feeling of people seeing you in your power. You should want them to see you in your power, because when they see you in their power, they get a glimpse and reflection of the power that they hold. What is the point of us all walking around dimming our light disempowered? It benefits no one. Stand tall, shoulders back, and just let them feel it. Okay? Now, we leave you with this last thought. It is not your job or responsibility to manage or micromanage the emotions and the feelings of other people. You don't have to dance around other people to dim your light. When they feel your power, when they feel your magnetism, when they feel your brilliance, let them decide how they choose to feel in relationship with you. And furthermore, being seen in power, allowing yourself to be seen in power, is simultaneously allowing yourself to receive love. Because we tell you, any of our messengers and our teachers and our creatives and our scientists and our thought leaders, this is source, that we have sent to your plane to be a channel and a vessel of ours, they have been seen as powerful, and you have loved them. And you have loved them because you have gotten a glimpse of who and what you really are. So yes, it will come with love. And subconsciously, you could be afraid of feeling that love. What will I do when everyone loves me? What will I do when I walk down the street and someone goes, oh my gosh, I know you. You're that artist or that person that does this thing or this musician or this famous chef, or what do you do with that? Do you love yourself enough to receive it and say, oh, thank you. Isn't it so brilliant what Source can do through us? Or do you go, I'm not worthy of this. This is too much. I'm uncomfortable. I'm afraid. Lean into love. It doesn't mean that power can't also be triggering. So there's something you need to do. If you are going to decide to be seen and you're going to move forward with your purpose, we want you to accept both aspects and polarities. People will love me, and maybe some people will dislike me, but ultimately my intention is pure and crystal clear, and I know that I will shift lives and expand people into something that my soul is wanting them to remember, and that will be the dominant vibration that leaves a legacy beyond any negative perception.